Hey, everybody, welcome back to this episode of Think Business. Looking forward to talking with Don Connors with Mortgage One branch owner. Don, it's great to see you. Don, before we talk about business, I want to talk about a passion project of yours. Your passion project has really been to help with the prevention and stopping of human trafficking. And you've been doing it since 2014, and I know it's a passion project of yours. So before we jump into business, talk a little bit about that, because it's unfortunately a much bigger issue than people realize.
Yeah. John, thank you. Thank you for having me here today. And thanks for opening with that question. I appreciate you. So anti-human trafficking is what I'm very passionate about. Specifically, I'm looking to help people that are taken against their will for either human trafficked, for sex trafficking, or labor trafficked. A lot of times overseas, it turns out to be more human trafficked and labor trafficked, both, especially in countries like India and throughout the Eastern Bloc, which would be Ukraine, Russia, etc. So here in the United States, I work with an organization that is called Vista Maria, and they're based in Dearborn. And we actually have 24/7 house there. Currently, we house about 20 girls that have been trafficked, or another 15 to 20 girls that are high risk. And it's really for adolescents, those who are under 18. And it's just such an honor. I serve on their board, and I help fundraise, and I provide assistance financially and with my time with Vista Maria. Overseas, my money can go a lot farther. So I build homes in India, one a year. 50 children are taken off the streets. They're boys and girls both. And right now we are just getting ready to open up house number 5. And I'm fundraising for house number 6. So it's my goal that I have one home built every single year, so that at my time of retirement, we'll have 450 children that have been rescued from human trafficking.
Wow.
In India.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I think, right now, I mean, I know there's certain charities I'm involved in. What drew you to this specific charity or organization? Or
probably the movie Taken, right? If you've seen the movie Taken, it gets you all fired up. I would say that. And then I had a gentleman by the name of Dominic Russo come to my church, and he was talking about this one day, one nation, some big to do that he's doing overseas. And he spent maybe 5 minutes and said, hey, and there's this little thing that my wife did. She was on a minute to win it. She won $250,000, and she opened up 10 homes with $250,000 and helped pull these kids off of the slums in India. And I was like taken. I was like bug-eyed and just shocked. So I went up to him after the service. I said, hey, what can I do to help? And he says, well, you could go take a mission trip. You could help fundraise for a home. You could fundraise yourself. You could build a house yourself. You can get involved any way you want. And so I started by taking a fact-finding trip to Nepal, where I got to see everything in action. And I lived 2 weeks in a home with these girls. And then I saw each of the border stations in Nepal that rescues these kids, $18,000 a year, and keeps them away from being trafficked in Nepal alone. So it was just mind riveting. So This organization is awesome because nearly 100% of every dollar that I raise goes into building these homes. They don't have admin costs. They have volunteers. They volunteer college students. So it's just really incredible.
It's beautiful. You do it. That's beautiful work to be of service in that way. And I think everybody's finding. I interviewed somebody this afternoon, and one of the things we talked about was, everybody is, I think, in a kind of in a post-COVID, post-pandemic world, really trying to find a little bit more purpose in their lives. And so to somebody who is, trying to find purpose, and that it's not just in, the making of the money, but also the sharing and the giving back. And I think people are, what advice would you give for people who are kind of searching for their thing that, like, you heard and said, God, this is something I want to be a part of. What guidance would you give that person?
The bigger my why has gotten, the more my drive has become, and my quest for business and success has just catapulted me into a whole new level. So, for example, when it was just me, my why was myself. When it was myself and my son, Ethan, my why became Ethan, which is big, right? It's outside of yourself. It's your kids. And then when your why becomes something bigger, maybe the church or your community. And then when you find that thing that just makes you furious, or a thing that makes you just driven. So my why is to end human trafficking on a worldwide scale, and to have it stop in the United States and abroad. And that is my driving motivation to get me to wrapping up my career and eventually in mortgage lending and being at this full time. So I think the best thing for myself is just when I figured out what my why was and my passion, and then let it take over me in a positive way to catapult me into my next phase.
I love it. I love it. Thanks for sharing that. I think that'll really help and inspire people to kind of raise their own level of awareness, raise their own kind of frequency and vibration, and just be on the lookout for, what resonates best with them. Let's talk about that. Yeah.
It's all about that, Jon, because when I think, okay, am I going to make that my next phone call? Oh, I don't want to make that phone call. And then you think, I'm doing it for those kids in India. If I can get this, if I can make this money, if I can do this, I can open up this home. I can have these kids from India go to school and have something more to hang on to. It's just, it's beyond me for sure.
Yeah. It's bigger than you. But let's talk about you for a second. You are a branch owner. You are a senior loan officer at Mortgage One. The interest rates are on the rise. The Fed has another meeting in June, another meeting in July. And so with interest rates on the rise, just kind of talk about, what that means to people today when it comes to refi and buying and selling and things of that nature.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Interest rates are on the rise. The Fed chair said, hey, we're going to raise interest rates in multiple increments this year. And it's going to be not in a 1/4 percentage point increments, but in a 1/2 percentage point increments. So unless they change their tune somewhere between now and, let's say, November, we can expect multiple interest rate changes. Currently, the interest rates are in the 5s. They were in about 2 percentage points lower about a year and 4 months ago. So you're seeing interest rates continuing to tick up through the last year and a half. And that is slowing. It hasn't done anything as of right now. So Ben Bernanke has said that he wants interest rates to meet demand. So eventually the goal is going to be that demand levels off and supply levels off, so that there's a little bit of a meeting in the middle. But Fed Chair Powell, I should say. Until that happens, they're going to continue ticking up these interest rates until that takes place. So on refinances, I'm seeing them have leveled off to maybe non-existent, or certain people are refinancing if they owe a little bit of money, $0 to $100,000. A lot of people are looking to refinance cash out because interest rates are in the 5s and they can capture a fixed interest rate and do a lot of those projects that they've been wanting to do and dying to do, especially with COVID, like you had said, Jon. People are reevaluating things. So if you can pull out 100,000, 150,000, do that second story addition, do that addition off the back, really renovate your house to a place that you really love and enjoy, that's making a big game changer for people.
Yeah.
And then and then purchasing side of things too, it hasn't slowed down purchases yet. But as these interest rates tick up, eventually more and more people will either can't buy the homes that they want, or they just are going to choose not to.
Yeah. I appreciate that summary. That was great. All right. Quick speed round. You ready, Dawn?
Ready.
All right. Favorite book and why?
Oh, I like Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad, because it was one of my first, and it really enlightened me to what's going on in our world.
He's a great guy. He's actually a great person. I've read his book. I loved his book. When I wrote and launched a book at the New York Book Expo, he was there, and he spent about 15, 20 minutes just talking with me. He was such a nice
cool
guy.
Fake he wrote the book Fake, and it kind of blew my mind.
Yeah. Best piece of wisdom you've ever received?
It was from a man by the name of Denny Fryman. He said, pay your people by your profit. He taught me the method of sharing 42% of my company profit with my employees, and it has been amazing.
That's beautiful. And the last question, one thing that people can do to get more in alignment with their purpose is?
work on your goals, work on them every year. You'll get better and better as you can.
I love it. Think community. Thanks so much for tuning in, Dawn. I really appreciate you being on the show. Think community, right now, I think everybody, at least a lot of people that I talk to, from solopreneurs to fortune companies and everything in between, everybody is looking to get into alignment with their purpose. I saw something on social media today that it said the great resignation or the great reassessment. Everybody's kind of reassessing where they are. Not everybody, but most people are reassessing their values, their personal values, what they want out of life, and trying to find purpose. So spend some time, some quiet time, figuring out your purpose, because those quiet moments can lead to you helping so many other people as well as yourself. Dawn, thank you so much for the work you do with human trafficking and the business. I know you're just a phenomenal business person, and thanks for sharing everything today. Think community, thank you. Dawn, thank you. Your ideal client and how people can connect with you.
A person looking to purchase a home or sell a house, that would be a fantastic client for me in the residential arena. 586-254-5711. 586-254-5711. That's to phone me. Thank you.
Dawn, thanks so much. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.